Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games So Little Time. My name is Joachim as usual, and also as usual we're going to be talking about Kickstarters, Gamefounds, projects, stuff like that. Okay, so there's a lot of them this time, 30 plus. So let's start, shall we? So the first one that we're going to talk about is this one, Playmats from the Art of Nino Vecia. And it's just playmats. It's not a game, but the playmats look amazing. If you look at the rebirth with all the butterflies, it's cool, but it doesn't stop there. Just look at how amazing all of these playmats look, especially if you're, into the fantasy style, mostly card games, I imagine, would look really, really awesome on these. It's expensive for one, but as it typically goes, the more you order, the cheaper it gets, because for two, you have the $5 discount. For three, you basically have $20 discount already. For five, it's like what, $30 per mat, so it's basically a lot less as well. So yeah, it's like that. So shipping is not mentioned whatsoever. But and if you click, for example, to playmats, then you do see the countries, and it's always 25 Canadian dollars. Now the problem with that is that even if you choose 11 playmats, then it goes up to $40. Yeah. So I guess different pledges have different values of money. So you can see this one I find is quite worth it if you're in the market for playmats. Then the next one we have is Through Ice and Snow, where you're basically exploring the Arctic. So you're looking for the lucrative and elusive Northwest Passage. It looks really nice, 1 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes. It's a modular board where you have your own ship and you're basically documenting species, but you're also exploring. You're building shelters. You can see it here that you're moving all around. And it's not just your helpers, but it's also with the Inuits, and also to make sure they did everything above board and everything is correct. You can see they hired a cultural advisor these days. Is apparently super necessary. So you can see what was in the box, blah, 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 blah. I'll just show you some of the things that you can do in the gameplay. So you can see worker placement, crew members, but also the Inuit have unique abilities, as you can see here. Then there's the Weather the Storm, because there's always events and challenges. Some pictures there. You upgrade, of course, as is normal in these games, so you can always get better and better. And also make sure that you don't sink. And then of course you score points by documenting species, like I said, building shelters, mapping locations, and so on. So let's take a look. There's also an expansion that adds more stuff. Let's take a look at the shipping. Is here. So I, for one, most likely will not be backing this, even though it looks interesting, but the shipping is expensive. And if it's really good, it'll end up at the local retail anyway, I feel. So yeah. Okay, so that is Through Ice and Snow. Okay, next up we have Rivenstone, a brand new tabletop miniature skirmish game. Now I know nothing about miniature skirmish games. I don't, but this is already backed and it looks really great. If you watch the video, they also emphasize the painting and the fact that it's completely new and it's made with people who have a lot of experience in these kind of games and so on. So if this is your jam, check it out. They have all these different parts you can check that explain everything in detail. If you're in the market for a game like this, check it out. I didn't, because I'm not in the market. Okay, I'm just showing you. I mean, the art and everything is top notch. They also have the lore they explain here, and of course the miniatures look amazing as well. So there's so much stuff you can get, terrain and everything, blah blah blah. I don't know if they say anything about shipping. Oh, so much stuff, which I'll leave up to you guys to explore. But the shipping here. Okay, so that's just for one starter box, of course, because if you add more and more and more, of course, it will increase the shipping costs. Okay, so, and also Asia is not even on here, so I'd be paying tons of money as well. Okay, so then we have Pocket Tactics. Now this is a 3D print and play strategy board game. So basically, you want to play this, you need to use your 3D printer. So if you don't have a 3D printer or you don't want to spend the money on that, it's not really worth checking this out. Because basically you can see here the rewards is you get the STL files and the PDFs. Even if you go higher, you just get more files. You never get the actual printed stuff. Okay, seller's license and everything. So basically, this is something they've been exploring. Well, not exploring, expanding, adding more and more stuff to it. And this is just another version that they've added, like new Dominion and so on, to new type of games. Yeah, that's basically what it is. No need to check for shipping because it's just downloads. Okay, so you can check that out if that interests you. Bleh. Then we have Battle Puffs. They might look cute and fluffy, but don't be fooled. Their temper is untamed and battle it out amongst your friends and family. So this is one of those typical card games that look cute, and you play it with a bunch of people, and they're short. So 2 to 5 players, 15 to 45 minutes, ages 8+. Basically, you are going to be building fortifications. You're using your magic on people. You're trying to get rid of their puffs while defending your own. So yeah, let's see. For example, you start with 3 puff cards and 7 battle cards. Then player goes first, whatever. Then you choose either an attack card or a power card. People can block you, but then if they run out of blocks, you can damage them. And if you do manage to kill someone or remove their puff, then they are out of the game. Okay, so it does have elimination. Okay, so but yeah, once again, cute art and everything. So they go over all the different types that there are. It's the typical kind of card games, right? You see you have many of those, many videos as well. Stretch goals a lot. Here's the shipping. So, and I would say it's kind of rare because for many of these card games, they don't tend to ship everywhere. But yeah, they have a lot of places here. Okay, that was Battle Puffs, the card game, and it's already funded as well. So, All-Time Wrestling, the wrestling card game. The greatest wrestlers of all time will collide. Who will be crowned as the all-time best? So this is a wrestling game, obviously, and it says the greatest wrestlers of all time. Now, I do have a little problem with that because there's actually just 3 famous ones, if I'm not mistaken, that they have, and it's cool because they even have Kurt Angle, have like a voice message, the video message and everything, so that's cool. But it's not like it's all of them. They have 3 licensed: Kurt Angle, Andre the Giant, and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Maybe these guys are also real. I have no idea, but I only know the first 3. So yeah. Anyway, so you have all these. And how do you play exactly? You spend stamina and play an attack card. It can be blocked, of course. But you're constantly fighting over initiative. So when you have initiative, you can attack and the other person has to defend. Then you roll a die and do the modifiers. Then you do damage and do your typical wrestling stuff. Pin your opponent, deal a devastating combo, use a special ability. So they have everything: 2-player mode, tag team, cage match, last man standing, solo mode, and campaign rules. There's playthroughs here as well. So yeah, if this interests you, I'm not crazy about it. Like the base game is $29, which is pretty cheap, with 4 wrestlers, and then of course they have a bunch of expansions that bring the other wrestlers in. Okay, 2 more wrestlers, and then later on, all or nothing, $100 to have basically everything with these other wrestlers as well. So when they say all the wrestlers and then you end up with 8, I'm a little bit like meh. I wouldn't say all. Anyway, there's other stuff here to check out, and then the shipping, stretch goals, reviews. Here's the shipping, especially cheap in the US and the UK, and then the other places are all more expensive. GCC, I don't even know what that is. Okay, so that is this wrestling game called All-Time Wrestling, the wrestling card game, and it's already funded as well. Then we have Table Golf Association, which is basically golf on your table, dexterity, so you're pushing stuff or flicking stuff, okay? and it has interchangeable terrain tiles, because you can spend a nice penny on this if you want. So you can already see it. You have the you create your own track, right? A course, golf course, and then you just play. You flick, and it has all the typical mechanics that you have in a golf game. All the different surfaces and everything that, like you can see here, the components that might have different effects. Like the brown dark stuff here is a cliff, and then you have to do it again. For example, you have your scorecards and so on, your clubs, the wind, also very important. So yeah, a lot of variability in the courses apparently. I like that they put the ball in this so it slows it down, you know. But yeah, like I said, you can spend a pretty penny on this because they have so many extra packs you can add on to it. And if I'm not mistaken, I can't even get it because I don't think it ships that far. So you see, if you $185 that you can spend and so on, even here, almost $400 when you have a special box and everything as well. But the shipping is here very, very tiny. And actually, no, China and so on is there in APAC, of course, but yeah, very tiny shipping costs. This looks cool to you? Check it out. So this game didn't even pop up when I looked for new board games. I just saw it at the bottom here. Like for example, Sayu, 8-Ball Pool, the board game, Holotype. Those are also games that didn't pop up when I searched for board games and the newest ones and so on. But it turns out I checked them out and you know, I didn't really feel the need to talk about them. But if these look cool to you, you can always check them out as well. Or maybe I did talk about it but just forgot about it. Okay, next up is Grab Your Breakfast. So Grab Your Breakfast is super duper simple, all right? It's just cute, something to play with your kids, okay? Like really with your kids. Because basically you have 2 cards and then you can take a card that you already have and then build your own tableau for scoring points. And if you end up with cards that you don't have a match of, it'll be negative points. And that is basically the game. So these are the cards, 2 cards per player, match a hand card to a tile card, collect sets and bonuses for extra points, choose to discard a card if there's nothing you need on the table. The game ends when all the tile cards are collected. And then you just check your score. So you can play on Tabletopia, read the rulebook and so on. But yeah, it's an adorable game that anyone can play. You know, definitely it's super simple, but it is also very cute. So, you know, I wouldn't mind playing this with my kids, for example. And then... let's see, shipping, here we go. Singapore, Malaysia, USA, and international. So yeah, those are all the costs and so on. So not too expensive. The game itself is also, you can also just get the print and play version actually, if you don't want to have the actual printed one. So there's also that. Okay, let's continue. Then we have Tin Spin. Now, I suggest you watch this video because it's quite well made. In the beginning I was like, but the longer I watched the video, the more I appreciated it. It's quite cool actually, and it's almost funded as well. So definitely check out the video. So how do you play this game? Well, you have all these dice, not the red one. And at the beginning of the game, everybody will choose a die in turn order. And then when it's your turn, when the game starts, you choose, you either roll or die. Roll or die. When you roll or spin, you don't die. You either roll your die or you spin your die. So when you roll your die and you have 1, 2, or 3, you get a golden cube. Of course, then the D4 here would be awesome. Or you can choose to spin your die. And when you spin your die, everybody at the table will spin. And if your die spins the longest, you get 2 golden cubes. And if you have 5, you win the game. So obviously, when you have like a D20 or the rocket one here, you're going to go for spin because, you know, it's going to spin longer, most likely. And then the red one is just you roll and then just do whatever it says at the end of your turn. So it could be right, and then you pass it along and so on. I don't know specific what the other things are, what pot is or whatever. But yeah, so that is basically the game. And you also have all these stats. But it looks pretty funny, you know, as a filler game, quickly see what happens. You have the videos as well that you can check out. And then shipping wise, there's nothing there, but it's print and play. So actually, but you can get, of course you can get a tin spin as well, but anywhere in the world, does it have a cost next to the country? Not really. Let's see if what happens if I choose Hong Kong. Oh, $25. Oh, wow. That's quite pricey. So I guess now it appears. Okay. But it's $25 for everywhere. Oh, no. United States, $5. Okay. So it is quite pricey for that. So I don't know if I want it anymore then. But it is funny to see just like that. And I'm sure normally you could get the dice, but then you wouldn't get the rocket. So I guess that's a good way of making sure people buy it. Okay, so that's Tin Spin, the dice spinning fun. Then we have Annunaki, Dawn of the Gods. So it's a 4X hybrid Euro game by Simone Luciani and Danilo Sabia. And you have your alien civilization that you're developing among ancient cities, gods, and space travels. So this is your 4X game that has these different planets because you've arrived at a new space apparently, and then you're trying to basically just do the 4X. You expand, you explore, you exploit, you exterminate. There's more than 80 miniatures, 4 factions, 5 planets. It looks very asymmetric. It's not cheap, but the box looks very nice. The components look cool, and it's quite original in a way that, as usual, you have your more powerful units, right? Like the small ones are basic, then you have the slightly upgraded ones, and the big ones, which are your major gods. The other ones are minor gods, and you unlock them by moving this pawn around on your board. Where are the boards? Here are the boards. So here there'll be these little cubes everywhere, and also the minor god tokens will be on there. Well, not cubes, tokens. And you're going to be moving your pawn around and then activating stuff. There's also solo mode, and nice little mana crystals, more factions in the expansions, mythical creatures, more planets that you can then try to take over and take the resources and everything. It also has scenarios that you can play. So there's a campaign mode as well. So for example, scenario A Door to the World, the Council of Ancients, and they will always, switch everything up and keep it more interesting, I guess. So solo mode here is also unlocked already. There you go. So it's already funded. Lots of add-ons, and very interesting for me because I will probably back this, or maybe not even for the game, but for the add-ons. Like, I'm sure you can buy the base game as well, but they have all these upgrades for Barrage. I don't own Barrage, I don't care. For Golem, I don't own it, I don't care. Lorenzo, I don't own it, I don't care. Same thing for Maharaja, Mystery House. But here, I own Newton. And from Newton, there's even a new board and everything. And that is really interesting to me. So yeah, check that out as well. Maybe you have some of these. So some of these add-ons you like. So game mechanics, you explore typically, right? Then you summon. As I said, you move your pawn around. You get certain cubes, and then it activates the triangle, which then allows you to use Thor, which is a minor god. But you can also expand, which of course you'll be building planets around, and then you'll be exterminating as well, exploiting, using your major god to have your asymmetric powers and everything. So yeah, it looks pretty nice, the game in itself. Okay, so a lot of reviews that you can check out. And then shipping wise, here we go. So shipping is not cheap either. Okay, even for the cheapest countries, which in this case is China, is 18 euros for the base and so on. Which I guess is okay, depending on where you live. All right, so that was Annunaki, Dawn of the Gods, and it's already tripled its goal, so that looks very good. All right, then we have the IT startup. Now, for me, this game doesn't interest me, but however, I have some IT friends which I think would probably like it because, like, for example, I'm a teacher, right? If this was a school setting, I would probably be more interested because the setting would be cool. But basically, you're an IT startup, and everybody's an IT startup, and you're trying to get the other people overworked, the other players, their engineers and everything. So apparently, it's pretty hilarious trying to create burnouts with other people. So that's really like the basics that I checked out. Basically, just a typical card game where you're attacking each other, but this theme is apparently really nice. Yeah. So check that out if you're interested. You can even check the cards below because there's a bunch of cards they show, if I remember correctly. Yeah, here you go. So all these. For example, a social COBOL developer you know, I know COBOL, but I can't show you what it is. But other people might be like, oh yeah, you know, I have other stuff, and so on. Here, even the code and everything that they enter. Okay, so anyway, shipping wise, this is the person who did it. And then shipping wise, you have this, pretty cheap. Also print and play that you can do, or have the actual copies, and also the expansions and base game and so on. Okay, so let's continue. We then have Cytress, an immersive cyberpunk game. Another cyberpunk game, because there's been several cyberpunk games lately. So 1 to 5 in a cyberpunk fortress ruled by stratus and elites up and above. And you can see the tower here, and that is a tower, okay? There's a bunch of stuff in this game. It looks pretty crazy. So I'm just going to use this picture to quickly explain what I've learned by watching the video and in general. But bear in mind, I've checked videos and how to plays and everything for 35 projects, all right? So I'm always might be a little bit off. But so here at the bottom, you have your character, and then she has her lifeline or life path. And these cards are what you get from all these different locations, and they give you more and more powers that you can use, right? But you're in some kind of a revolution, because all the rich people and all the cool people are here in the tower on the left. All the stuff is there, and you're trying to get there to get more victory points as well. But on the other hand, you can stay below and create all these tubes. I forgot the real name, which also gives you victory points. So you can actually choose to stay below or go up. And it's also kind of worker placement, because you're going to different areas to do different actions, right? So you influence the factions as well. You visit districts. You customize your character with the, what was it called? Life path. There you go. You unlock skills, of course, that you can then use. Control the underbelly, like I said. It's not the tubes. What do you call it again? Just escape points. They had a different name for it later on, but okay. And then ascend to Stratos, where you're trying to get valuable rewards, and the more points, the higher you get. Okay, there's a bunch of videos. You can see here the life paths again. Actions you can do. But also when you are helping one faction, you're also making another faction angry. So I like that idea. It's kind of like Deus Ex ones. Here, you see, underbelly tubes. They do use tubes. So you got to try to escape, or you can stay and become like an underboss or whatever. It looks cool. It looks pretty. I have to check it out though. Oh wow, $459. Oh, this is your name and everything, and then for the invitation to be a designer. Okay, never mind. It's just a typical one. So I guess $150 just gets you everything. Yeah, plus digital as well. Okay, so shipping is here. Here's the shipping. Okay, so there we go. I don't really know why they say rest. China, Hong Kong, Macau is here, and that's why rest of Asia. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. First created as well. So yeah, looks interesting. Cytress looks interesting for sure. I'd especially be interested in how the tower would hold up if you always have to assemble it, or how that would be solved, that problem. Okay, next is Spirit Duels. So once again, a very cute card game that I imagine is not very expensive. Well, $49, it is kind of expensive. But it's basically a card game, and it feels like Pokemon, the card game. As in, you have your animals or beasts, or what do we call it? Creatures, yeah, that you can evolve, right? But then when you're playing Spirit Duels, you're attacking each other and you're defending. But at the same time, you can save up some of the currency that they use. I don't know what it's called anymore. But then you can use that to upgrade your card. But if you do it at the wrong time, you might be upgrading a card while they're attacking you, and that might be bad. So basically, how do you do it? You draft your classes. So you can see there's many different classes, like Pokemon. You form your team. You also make sure you have all the upgrades and everything. And then you show them together. Then you also roll dice that allow you to attack use class abilities or store up essence. So the essence you can use to upgrade. Play powerful move cards to mitigate your opponent's dice or improve your own. Evolve them, okay, and defeat their spirits, okay. So apparently there's also a way to get the spirits back when they're defeated. So it looks very cool. If you're a fan of Pokemon especially, I think this would be very appealing. The dice look okay, right? I think it's just seems like a good card battler. Okay, so all right. So any word on shipping? Here we go. Yep. So especially cheap for China and Macau. So maybe I should look into it because the Kickstarter exclusive is $59 and that gives you a lot of foil stuff. Okay, so that is Spirit Duels. Then we have Edgeguard, which to me screams, well, not screams, but really makes me think of Icewind Dale. You might know Baldur's Gate as well, but Icewind Dale was a computer game and had a very distinct art style, different from Baldur's Gate and so on. And this game really reminds me. So 14 plus, 30 to 90 minutes, 1 to 4 players. It's a story-driven tabletop role-playing board game featuring highly detailed miniatures, immersive mechanics, and beautiful artwork. So I do think while they say beautiful artwork, it has to be a style you like. I like the crystal dice, something new, but then you have to back in the first 24 hours, which by the time you see this might be too late. So if that's the case, sorry. So first of all, you see the miniatures, right? They're detailed, but to me, they feel old, like classic style, right? Like all of them feel very, very much classic to me. And also the art, you can see it here. This really reminds me of Icewind Dale, like a lot. So yeah, and aside from that, it's typical dungeon crawler looking like. So the core game is here. How to play, so you form your party, and then you buy items in the city, then you go on a road, but you draw a card to see what happens, then you arrive to do the campaign or the scenario there where you'll be battling, and then hopefully at the end you win. So it feels a bit like Gloomhaven in that way, and many other cars. You also have a solo mode, and they say what changes in that solo mode. So yeah, you can also check it out on the Tabletop Simulator. And then what is the shipping like? Dun, 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 dun. Shipping. Regarding shipping. They decided to wait until late before locking in shipping rates. But they say that you can check it yourself if you want to. But then there's, in general, no way that they just wet finger it or whatever. So let's see if you pledge. Oh, you can't even select a country. Yeah, so basically, if you back this, you have no idea what the shipping is going to be, which is a bit odd. Okay, then we have Dumpster Fire Party, which I think is really cool, but also short-lived. Let's put it like that. So basically you have a dumpster, right? And everybody has these little tokens that you get. You choose in the beginning of the game. Like if you want to be the poo, you take the poo. If you want to be the banana peel, the banana peel. If you want to be the pizza, you take the pizza. So basically you draw a card, trash card, right? And then you tell a story about what happened. So here, for example, get the game, get some friends, pick your trash jar, I said already, pull a dumpster fire card and tell your story. So bad dates, I was robbed and left for dead, and then add trash on the fire to show that you've already done your story, right? Then everybody has a different thing, which I guess was all bad dates, I shit my pants. And in the end, people write down their favorite story and throw it in the dumpster. Then at the end, you read out all the favorite moments, and then whoever won gets awards, and then you laugh because of dumpster fire. So you can play this with friends. I would only play this with friends, maybe not with strangers. I'm thinking about meetups then, because they might not want to share certain things. But with friends, I think it would be cool, but also a very limited, I think it's going to be a limited life, because at one point, you know, if you might run out of stories, right? But then they might have a lot of cards. So it looks funny. Of course, it's a gimmick, the whole dumpster and fire and everything. But I don't know. I kind of like it. So You can even spend $170 to get all of this with exclusive toys and everything. Oh, okay then. All right, so then it's even more, $270 to get all these different dump. That's okay. That's a bit over the top. You even have Chrome. Okay. All right. Here's the shipping. Quite expensive in my case. Asia, topping the line, but it's better when you're in the US or the UK. All right. So let's continue. That was Dumpster Fire. Glitch Squad. Now I backed one of their games not long ago. I'll talk about it later. But Glitch Squad seems pretty funny as well. Not overly crazy about it. But basically what happens is you're in the lab and you have evidence and everything, but then stuff gets messed up. So basically, I'm sure they have a how to play here. Yeah, so basically you're in teams first of all. Then you write your clues. For example, if it's janitor, you write 3 names, like 3 clues: brooms, mops, and trash. But then somebody else, the other team, will remove one word and change with another word. And then your teammate has to guess what it is. So for example, water, boat, captain, in this case, changes to water, boat, and pool. So then the other person still has to find out what it actually was. In this case, it's sailing. So would you guess sailing if it's just water, boat, and pool? Maybe not, right? So if you have it correct, then you will slide your card over and get closer to your secret code, which are words. And if you don't have it correct, the other team gets to slide theirs. So even if everybody is constantly wrong, it still moves forward. So, and then you can guess what it is. For example, is it freckles? In this case, the top one was freckles because in the video, I think. But then there's a bunch of cards as well with different codes and everything. So I think it's cool. It looks cute. It's like a kind of party game that you can quickly do and everything. But yeah, here's the shipping. The star is select your country, and the asterisk is select your country in the pledge level to see your exact shipping charges and so on. So for me, Hong Kong, as you can see, I did it. It's just $6. So the 14 can be misleading in that case. All right, so that was Glitch Squad. All right. Then we have Fliptown, be the best in the West in Fliptown, a strategic flip and ride game for 1 to 4 players. Now this looks very beautiful, and it's flip and ride, so it's not rolling. So you're flipping 3 cards, and then you decide what you're going to use them for. One of them you're going to use as a suit, one as a value, and one as a something else. Poker card, yeah. So all these 3 things are then used to do to cross out stuff, to create combos. You have solo play in there, competitive as well. Like this one is pretty high on my I'm very interested list, to be honest. So, and it just looks cool. People are very positive about the solo game as well. So yeah. And let's see what the shipping is all about. Here's the shipping. Rest of the world for me is very pricey because $19 and 1 copy. Of course, you can get print and play, but physical copy is $25. So the $19 basically almost doubles that. That's a bit painful. So yeah, that is Fliptown. Looks pretty nice. Then we have Dungeons and Dinos, the card game. So D&D inspired, family friendly, 2 to 4 players, dungeon crawler, strategy, sabotage, and loads of loss. Yeah. So basically, if you look at it like this, it looks very simple, but this is just showing what all the cards are, so that's not actually the game. You're going to choose your character. There's a loot deck as well. You start by getting 2 pieces. You're going to explore the dungeon, and then there's going to be baddies, traps, and treasure that come out, and then you can smash, steal, and slay. So, and defeat the baddies, basically. So once again, this is a cute card game, and that's what you're getting it for, right? So yeah, if this sounds interesting at all, just go for it. I added it because because I think there is a market for these. If you look at the pledging already, it's almost there. So yeah. Oh yeah, shipping wise, was there any shipping? Did they say anything about shipping? I don't remember seeing anything, but it should be, right? Meet the team, about us, need a refund, delivery timeline, social goals, stretch goals, add-ons. So maybe shipping wise, I don't know. If I click this, it just appears next to it. Yeah, I love it. $25 Canadian stuff. Okay, next, Dino Dodge, more dinos, Survival of the Fittest. I added this because it seems like a pretty good filler. It's like 54K at the moment, Hong Kong dollars, of course. It's almost $7,000 out of 8,000. So, what is this game all about? Basically, you have all these cards here where you can put your dino on it because you're going to be a dino: Bruno, George, Phoebe, Ruby, Yara, whatever. So, and on your turn, you're going to be moving around, but you're also going to be drawing a card, and meteors are going to be coming down. And basically, when you're on a card that has a meteor on top of it, you can draw cards, which is good, but of course it's a bad place to be, because if this meteor counts down to 0 and explodes, then you're out of the game. So you're constantly dodging the meteors, but at the same time you want to be on there because then it gets you cards that you're going to use to manipulate everything around you. And this can get very expensive as well, $125, but then you get honorable mentions and everything. So yeah, actually you should ignore that, just $59, and then you get the printed meeples, game mat, and so on and so on. So how to play: you add a meteor first and foremost, then you play cards. So you can move yourself, you can move other people, and so on. You rotate the meteors because they have a timer. If you can see 1, 2, 3, then you draw a card from the deck, and then there's a boom phase. So if any meteors are gonna go boom, then if you're on there, you die unless you have a dodge card or an action to use it. Okay, so you can be removed from the game. All right, so there we go. And of course the meeples, they all look cute and so on. So what is the shipping like? I thought I saw some, was it here? Let's see. USA and Canada. Yeah. So it says here, for now it's available to US and Canada, but if they double the campaign goal, then they will add European countries and also Austrian. So if this Australian. So if this interests you and you're from there, it might be coming your way. So yeah, lots of stuff there, lots of information. Okay, so Dino Dodge, Survival of the Fittest. Then we have Waste Knights. I own the original Waste Knights. I really love the game. Really love it. Really cool. I instantly backed this. You can see they already, they wanted to have 20,000 euros. They already have 124. Now I instantly backed it, even though, and I'm going to jump forward here, even though shipping wise, it ain't cheap, because Asia is $32 to $40. Okay, euros, which is big difference between Poland and everything. So I instantly backed all the new stuff. Basically, it adds more to it. Waste Knights is basically like a water world, basically. So this is Beyond the Horizon. You have a bunch more Waste Knights, and then also these vehicles, because when you play Waste Knights, you always have your person and your Waste Knight and a vehicle, and you're going around and doing these cool stories and so on. So yeah, I should make a video about it. I don't think I have done it yet. Maybe an unboxing. I'm not sure. So massive expansion. They add so much more. You can visit Tasmania, Solomon Islands, and New Zealand. There's a Project X. There's water that they've added. Looking for fresh water, new resource. You have ships now. So yeah, you can see here places you would dare not to go, time to drink, seafarers and landlubbers, things on the horizon. So Greenbeard is new, Rizalka. I'm not going to go over everything, but I mean, I can vouch for the original one, the original game for sure, easily. And I'm just expecting this to be more of the same goodness, honestly. And there's even more stuff to go. Look here, from the depths. So in the original one, you can fight a really giant robot, and I guess here you might be able to fight a giant kraken, which would also be cool. Okay, so yeah, and you can even get everything that you so far. That is Waste Knights. Then we have Extravaganza, the board game, which is a strategical drag lip sync competition board game. Extravaganza, illustrations by Shane Gallard or Gaillard. So Extravaganza basically is drag queen game I included it because I thought it was pretty original. You don't see many drag queen games. So basically you're doing a lip sync battle, and it's pretty straightforward. Like you're in the middle, you're going to be moving around, and then collecting all the same gems. They don't call it gems, they call it something else, of the same color. So if you, for example, if you move all the way to yellow, every spot that you went over that had a yellow gem, it's not gems, but anyway, you would get that, right? I'll just go to the how to play because that's going to be faster. But you can see it's very vibrant and everything. Funny art, cool art. So, here we go. So bedazzle rhinestones. Okay. So you're moving along, collecting the rhinestones. Then you draw a card, which will give you lip tokens for the amount of cards that there is on the board and also that you have. Then you dance, where you are spending your rhinestones to increase the quality because you glitter more, right? And then you do the lip sync. You're spending basically the lips to get points, all right? And then you get 10 points in a single turn. Will give you a 10 token in that category. And of course, you want to get as many as possible, and that is the game. So there are stretch goals as well. And what about the shipping? Here are the shipping rates. Asia does not get a token. But yeah, so, you know, no, I'm not going to get it because it's 30 euros, is it? So my rule is if the shipping is highest, I'm not going for it. In this case, it's highest, aside for other, but anyway. Next, we have Little Box Journeys, story games take you far from home. I'm not going to talk too much about this. Basically, they're RPGs in a box. Okay, it says here, no prep RPGs. They say it's good for people who are used to RPGs, but I think it's mostly for beginners because you don't need to prep that much. You have different stories. They're different ones. You have Decaying Orbit, Saltfish, but then you have the previous ones. Then they also have solo play, for example, some of them. Village Song, Our Mundane Supernatural Life. So you can see they're not big either, and they come with markers and everything as well. They have all the stuff nicely included. So if this interests you, because the cards look like this, something like this, but then, what was the other example that I thought was interesting to see what you could prepare for? To see the video does a really good the video does a really good job, by the way, to show you, and also gives you a lot of information about the stories. If this looks interesting to you, do check it out because I like it. I think it's cool, but because it's such a crazy month, I probably won't end up backing it. But you can see it here: 1 to 4 players, 2 to 4 hours. So they are short, and only the first and the fourth is soloable. All right, shipping. Where are you? Did I just pass through it? VAT and taxes. Click on the pledge level and select your destination country. Okay, yeah. Well, we're not going to do that. Next up is G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Now you can see you're a backer. You pledged $10. Maybe you can't see it depending on how much I zoomed in. But anyway, I pledged $10. Why? Because this doesn't ship to Asia. It doesn't at all. So I know this probably doesn't interest you, or maybe it does some of you if you're from Asia, obviously. But if you look at the shipping, it's just US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. That's it. And they say they can't guarantee customs-friendly shipping outside of it. So it seems, yeah, I don't know, it seems like they do it. But then when you click on it, like No Average Joe, for example, I can't even click on it. Oh. Because I already did $10. But if you click on it, then the countries will not be available. So anyway, I want this. I really do, because I had the other G.I. Joe, the deck building game. And this feels similar, but then with different mechanics and everything. I just like the world of G.I. Joe. I used to play with it as a kid. And basically, you're trying to stop Hydra, right? Oh, Hydra, Cobra. I watched Civil War today, so that's why. So you're trying to stop Cobra. And it's basically the same system as Power Rangers. So if you have Power Rangers at home, then you can actually combine them. So that's also cool. So you have the minis, of course, lots of minis, the action dies in those colors. You can actually get them in the G.I. Joe colors as well as an add-on, the combat cards and everything. So, you know, G.I. Joe wise, it just looks cool. Do they have like the add-ons here with the different colors? Of course, it's $10, you know. gotta capitalize on it. Vehicle packs, so you can actually use the vehicles as well. So how to play, you have the deployment phase, basically you're deploying them to make sure you're stopping attacks, action phase, you're attacking them, resolving battles, and just making sure you stop the forces of evil, right? You can see it here, it's really compatible with other Guardian system games. And from the comments, you could tell they're probably going to have a Transformers one as well, because that's what Renegade Game Studios seems to be doing now. Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers. Like the deck builders are now this game. But yeah, I want to have this game, but I cannot get it because I cannot choose it. So I did leave a comment, like it's not sent to Asia, is it shipped to Asia? But no, it says here, unfortunately our licensing agreement does not allow for that. Thanks for asking. Too bad. Alright, then we have Murder at the Golden Theater, a mystery box game. I saw this first on Instagram actually, but then I saw it here as well. Basically 2 students who created this. One is April Chien, and the other one we'll see later. But yeah, so basically it's a murder mystery. So if this interests you in general, then I suggest you check it out. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you see some pictures here. Yeah, if that interests you, it's April C and Ellison C, who are the creators, and they say why they did it and so on. No shipping unless you click it. So yeah, $13 to Hong Kong, for example. But check it out if that looks interesting to you. Murder at the Golden Theater. Then we have DVG Stuka Leader, the German air war over Europe during World War II. This is not a game for me, but it's already way over its goal. It wanted 20,000. It has 76,000 already. And it's basically an air fighter game, the war in the sky, you know. So you can see it here as an example. To me, this is all like what it all looks like Chinese to me, which is like a Belgian saying. That means you really don't understand it. So yeah, you will command a huge selection of German and in the Mediterranean expansions Italian aircraft as you work through a vast selection of campaigns, and so on, so on, so on. So if this is the kind of game that you think this is awesome, then yeah, check it out. Because it is very popular and a lot of expansions as well. So is there any shipping information? Here we go. Yeah, so yeah, for me, definitely it's not even cheap. Where's in Africa though? Definitely South America. So yeah. Okay, that's Stuka Leader. Then we have Wayfarers of the South Tigris. So explore the waterways, map the land, and chart the stars in this 1-to-4 player strategy game set in medieval Baghdad. And it is a Garfield game, so you can see they wanted to have 23,000 New Zealand dollars. They already have 334,000. So people want this game. And it does look very good as well. 60 to 90 minutes, 1-to-4 players. Why back now? You get it early. There's a promo pack, and it's a trusted company with a proven track record for delivering projects on time. And, you know, Shem Phillips does a great job. That is definitely a fact. So basically, you're explorers, cartographers, and astronomers, and you set up from Baghdad to map the surrounding land, waterways, and heavens above. So basically, you have your workers, you have your equipment that you're spreading around, okay? So worker placement, dice placement, tableau building, you make your engine. There's 160 cards to your tableau. Most of each are unique. And there's also player interaction from a new influence system, which you can expect to see more of in future South Trilogy titles. And there's also a solo mode with 4 unique AIs to compete against. And of course, it also looks pretty. You can also try it on Tabletop Simulator. Double-sided main board sections, the player boards here. I can imagine you'll be covering up stuff. All the cards, the dice. Yeah, it's the punch board tiles as well. I mean the journal tiles, because I imagine this is probably your journal as well. So yeah, it looks interesting for sure. I wasn't gonna back it because I think it's to do with shipping as well. Yeah, it's rest of world in my case. So yeah. But But yeah, if this interests you, just go for it. Yeah, it looks definitely cool, and many people are very enthusiastic about it. Then we have D420 dice sets. Now, it's a D4 on a D20. It rolls nice, soulless sets. So basically, it is what it is. If you don't like rolling a D4, then these people, or Nick DiFabio, this guy, has created a D20 dice, which only go from 1 to 4. Okay, that's it. Just D20s that go from 1 to 4. So if that's the thing that you like or you want, now's your chance to get it. Not going to talk too much more about it. It is what it is. Shipping wise, it's here. Okay, so that's that. Then we go to Airflip, which I was very positive about, very excited about, until I saw that it's just a print and play. Because my wife is a stewardess, so I thought this would be really cool to play, and it looks nice as well. It looks beautiful, you know, and the different cards and everything, and you know, there's a lot of stuff actually for a print and play. All these cards, and then the bonuses and the airplane and everything, and a solo mode included. So that's all cool. Trying to fill up your plane as quickly as possible with the different parish passengers, but then. Yeah, sadly, it is just print and play. So I actually wanted to have this in a nice box. That would be really cool, because this seems like a lot of stuff to print, but yeah, that's just me being lazy. Okay, that was Airflip, and then we go over to Gamefound, and here we have Uprising, which I really don't like because I want to buy it. I'm trying to cut costs, but this one looks pretty sweet. Now it's a reprint of the base game and then with the expansion. So in Uprising, it's basically an Uprising, but you're fighting against two AI factions that who also fight each other. So it's not just you who's fighting; it's also other people. Reminds me a little bit of Heroes of Air, Land, and Sea, the way the boards look and everything, but it is definitely different because. It has these tiles that you flip over that have specific actions. You have the two AI enemies that you have. The art, of course, is beautiful. Apparently, it is a table hog. It takes up a lot of space. If you want everything, it's $199. If you just want the base game, the reprint is $99, and there's some variations on there. This is the ultimate pledge. Sorry, it's $299. It's with everything on top of it. But you save $41, which you probably then use for shipping. Anyway, so a lot of other unlocks that are coming. So these are the mechanics. You can see there's a lot of stuff in there, and apparently it all works very nicely together. It's also highly adjustable, both in length and difficulty. Variable board and hundreds of cards. Now, I did read that because it has such a high level of variability that sometimes the game has the potential of having like a sequence or a cascade of bad stuff happening because it's so high, such a high variability. So then all the bad stuff tends to happen at once. That is possible as well, because that's with every game that has it, of course. So you can explore the worlds. You can see the different tiles are then flipped over, and they all have different stuff on them that generate a unique effect. You fight not only one but two asymmetric enemies, right? Then you also conquer different areas, and you can see the different factions also have different towers and everything, which makes it even cooler, obviously. Then you have your own well, these are quests, but then you also have your own powers that you can use, and then develop your faction with feats and items. You can see yeah, it just looks really nice. Solo apparently seems very awesome as well. So yeah, I am very much interested in this one. Even the dice look great, and then you have the bags with all the different tokens. Yeah, I'm pretty much sold. I didn't check the shipping though. Let's see, shipping and VAT. China, Hong Kong, Macau, 17 and 30. Okay. Compared to the rest, it's pretty acceptable still. Alright, let's go to the next one. Is the Great Wall reprint. Now, I was going to get this for sure, but I'm not so sure anymore. Because people say it's really, really, really good, But I don't know. With all this other stuff coming out this month as well, it has lost some of its shine. But it does look really nice, as you can see, right? It looks amazing. You can play co-op, you can play solo, competitive. Yeah, this is your chance for a reprint, basically. Because God knows how long you'll have to wait after this. Yeah, so the Great Wall. Pretty clear what the game is all about, you know, defending the wall. So yeah, if this looks interesting, there's a bunch of reviews out there. If you want everything, it's 282 euros, plus the Iron Dragon. But then if you drop the Iron Dragon, it immediately becomes a lot cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. Here it's actually everything with Sundrop. Sundrop, yeah. Okay, so yeah, just check it out. So you can play it. You can play it as solo, full co-op, and competitively. As I said before, it's a unique worker placement hybrid. So you need to pay close attention to what's happening because there's a ton of extra details, interactions that you discover while playing. So you need to keep your head in the game. And it's also creating an engine. But yeah, the components look really awesome. And maybe I should just have it because I freaking live in China. Well, I live in Hong Kong, which is next to China, and I visited the wall, and it's Awakened Realm, so it's bound to be pretty good. I have Tainted Grail. I played Nemesis. I thought that was okay. Don't need to have it. Lords of Hellas. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, so shipping wise, is that going to dissuade me from getting it? No, not necessarily. Okay. So, yeah, there are 3 more, and we've been talking for an hour already. We have Damask, which is about Damascus, or Damascus in Dutch. And basically, you're trying to get silk. You're trying to become the best silk weaver. Let's put it like that, okay? So, how does the game exactly work? First of all, it's here. You have different options. You can take a Damask, right? Here you go. Or you can take silk cubes, which is a kind of an original way to get it because it's like a market, but you keep spinning it until you have 2 different colors, right? That's what I think it is. It says here stopping when they have 2 of the same color, but this person took 5. So I think it's when you just have 2 of the same color of the Damask, maybe. Not sure, because you can also have extra ones overstock, and then other people can take it away from you, and then they'll give you a favor. But then the favors you can use when you're actually creating the Damask into fashionable ones, and they give you points and so on. And they actually say with only 4 main actions, it's a simple game to pick up and play, but apparently it is quite strategic as well with what you do. And of course it is pretty, because if you see some of the pictures of people playing it, like here for example, it has a really nice table presence, right? So yeah, a lot of reviews here. What about, and 27 euros is not expensive. And it's the same company behind Die of the Dead, which the game was very nice quality. I didn't end up liking the game itself, but the quality was nice. So, all right, shipping here. There we go. This is one thing I don't like though. I appreciate that they put the value for different countries, but then it becomes very difficult to compare what is cheaper and what is more expensive. But yeah, anyway, because here it's like dollars and pounds, and anyway. So that's Damask. Then we have Moogh, which is basically you are Neanderthals or cavemen, and you're joining forces to fight beasts, okay? But you're all different tribes, and of course you want to be the best tribe as well. So you want to get the most savage points by doing the most damage and everything. So this reminds me a little bit of Kingdom Death Monster. I've never played it, okay? But in Kingdom Death Monster, you always have the boss battle. And this is basically what this is. You're constantly doing boss battles. For example, you're fighting, you can watch the video and it'll make it all clear. You're wounding the beast, being injured, performing special attacks, because you are attacking the big baddie. And you have action selection to see what you're going to do. And you have for example, the mammoth, or just elephant, I guess mammoth, elephant, walking around, and you'll do damage. You can even jump on top of the elephant and so on. But at one point, you can get enraged and do damage and so on. But basically, you're different tribes all doing that together, right? So that reminds me a little bit simplified version. Okay, so this is the shipping costs. So France, European Union, and USA, and the rest of the world. Okay, so and then you can see the game itself is quite small, right? So just check it out and see. You can see it here as well when you're on different spots on the animal where you can do damage. Last one is Oranienburg Kanal, which is a new game by Uwe Rosenberg, right? I'm looking for the here you go, the picture, and it's in the typical art style. It also has the typical resource spinning wheel that they use in the different games as well, and we'll go down to show you how exactly it works. So there's only 7 rounds, but you do have different actions you can take, exactly 5 actions. So the starting player of a round takes 3 actions and the other player only 2. So it's a 2-player game then, I imagine. So after the action phase, both of you can turn your resource wheel once for free and conduct some preparation for the next round. So basically you're going to be building structures, okay? Also routes and bridges to gain materials. So even though you can build the structures, the action only happens when the requirement is there. So you're basically tableau building, right? And then when it's completely covered, like surrounded by items, for example here, then you can score it. But if you then build a bridge to another card, you can score it again. So it's a lot of strategic thinking. There's a solo game here as well, solo play that you can do. There's a bunch of videos. Now, it's not my type of game because I like it to be pretty, and the games that look like this are not my kind of jam. Although sometimes when people play it and I join, I actually like it. For example, Power Grid, but then I don't end up buying it. I'll play it, but if it's here, it will always turn me off. The looks. It's stupid, I know, but yeah. So anyway, this is here, 16 days left. It is already 205% funded. This is always so misleading because this always makes me think it's not funded yet, but it's already 205% funded. I think it just means it's going towards some kind of an unlock, but I don't see any unlocks this time. So I don't know why, or I guess the green was completely filled and then this is the extra stuff, or whatever, doesn't matter. This was the end of the Kickstarter Gamefound rundown. April is crazy. We're May, actually almost. May is going to be crazy because there are so many projects to think about and to potentially back and everything. I'm quite excited and annoyed at the same time because I'm gonna have to make decisions again. Yeah, remember Sleeping Gods from last time. Okay, that's it. My name was Joachim and always will be. This was So Many Games at a Little Time. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.